Hey guys, India. Let's quickly look at the following indices. We're gonna be looking at the UK 100, US 30, German 30, and the NAS 100. So this is gonna be a very long video. Stick around for more. Okay. So right here, before I begin looking at these instruments, guys, I don't do signals. I don't sell signals. I do not do investments. Okay, I don't do this too. The only thing that you can access from me or from my website is trading education. That's what you can find, because this will allow you to create your own signals, okay, to be an independent trader. I'm not gonna sell you signals. I'm not about that business. That's the website, vindiforex.co.za. Put that /courses. That's where you're gonna find a course, the full course in there with all the strategies, all the tools that I use. Okay, let's quickly look at this chart right there. This is the UK 100, aka FITS. Okay, so this is looking a little bit nasty. If you look at it, what we have to start by doing is to identify structures. Okay, so this is our resistance point right here. Very easy. Let's see if we can find the support. Let me mark this point here and also this particular point. So if I join these two, I believe I'm gonna get a nice support structure around there. Let me just do that. And that support structure is actually meeting with the moving average. Can you see this? Let me show you this one. That's where they are sort of meeting. So that's a very strong support structure. Remember, this is the weekly chart. You can see that moving average right there. This is the weekly chart, and it takes forever for the weekly time frame to move. Okay, so these let's see if we can name this. Let's call this our major resistance, and this one right here, let's call this one our major support. Okay, so so that we differentiate it when we go to smaller time frames. However, if I zoom in a little bit, you can see that there's been a range there, and we know that the range or a box gives us support and resistance here on top, support at the end of that. The lower part of that box is gonna give us support. So let me mark this one support, but this is not the same support as the black one. So how can we differentiate between the two? Okay, so let's just call this minor support. Let's call this the minor support. It's gonna come in handy when we look at lower time frames, this minor support, because the major one is a little bit far. Okay, we are looking at that box. That's where we're getting this minor support structure because of the box, the range. Okay, so if we move down here to daily, you can see nicely right there that box, it's gonna look a little bit stretched out. Let me see if I can show you that, but if you're paying attention, you can see this is the box. So we are on the lower part of that box, hence I said this is that minor support. The same box is this box, but there it's stretched out because we're on a much lower time frame. Okay, so yes, this is what we have, and the moving average, you can see it's very tight. The green belt there got broken, so we cannot rely on it, because now we are back down on that minor support structure that we highlighted. We can see, and we could expect some sort of rejection around it, or price to push a little bit lower before it actually goes back up. But the overall structure, you can see that is the moving average together with the minor support at one area. They're meeting at that particular one spot. We have added a rejection candle. Should I get that rejection, I could possibly look for opportunities to go long. That number that I'm showing you here, this is where maybe price could come down a little bit before it goes up. The minor support, that's where we could look for entries tomorrow when the market opens. I'm recording this video on a Sunday, and we could look for opportunities to go long all the way to the upside. That is a possibility, keep in mind, because we are on that support. So the buy signals should come from there. So we need to look for those particular signals on the minor support. If price continues down, we might look for that on the major support there highlighted on weekly. Okay, very important. So that's just how I'm looking at this particular shandies. Make sure that you remember this particular chart, because the next chart almost looks the same, the US 30. Let's look at the US 30 index. Okay, they kind of look the same, if you know what I mean. So if you pay attention to one, you can be able to sync everything together. If we look here, the US 30, you can see the weekly structure, the weekly green belt there. It's a little bit far away from where we are. We're not too far away from the resistance, but the support is far. This dotted line is far. Okay, this support is far from where we are. it's a little bit far away from where we are, so let's stay away from that. The resistance, it's exactly where price is, and we can see that on that resistance we can see some sellers trying to come in. Okay, the support there far, as I've said, we're not gonna pay attention to it. How about the resistance? These are the major structures. You can see that there's that red candle there trying to form, so you can see that sellers are trying to build momentum around that resistance. So that will give us at least an idea as to what to do on lower time frames. Okay, so this is the daily chart. What do you see? What do you see? What's common between this and the last one? Okay, let's draw the structure. Let me mark this point and mark this one as well. If we join the two, you've seen me doing this for quite a number of times, we can have that trend line. Okay, so we've drawn our structure. We start by drawing our structure. So once we have this structure, you can see that around that point price is actually sitting at that structure together, and the moving average is sitting there. So it's sort of similar to what you have seen on the UK 100. Okay, so this will be our minor support of some sort, because we've already highlighted our major on weekly. Okay, yeah, you remember this support that is far, this one, the green belt together with that dotted line, they are far. That's why I'm calling this the minor support structure. Okay, so what else can you see? The range, can you see the range? Can you see it? Yes, price could bounce off from that minor support all the way up back to that, because we have this range, or it could not get up there. It might maybe get halfway like that, because there is another structure right there midway of that box. Most of the times there's gonna be another sort of minor resistance around that point. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to highlight with that. So we could see price doing that, or maybe later on it might come back down to the down. Anything is possible. That is why never ever rule out that anything is possible. So it might drop down to this particular level right there, support structure right there, at least the two, almost not towards the weekly support, because the weekly support's a bit far, but it might drop a little bit to that. If it continues dropping before going up, we could see it landing on that. The German 30, it's gonna be almost similar to the previous chart, almost similar. You can see this is the weekly chart. You can see they're looking the same, guys. No need to sweat, no need to cry or whatever, beat yourself up. Draw that zone, there we go. That's a trend line, the same way I've drawn on this particular guy right here. You've seen me drawing that. It was on daily, it was not on weekly, it was on daily. This is the weekly chart. Yes, okay, so you can see the same dynamic structure here on German 30. There's our support, same shanties, and then up there the resistance. Same stuff that we've been doing. We're doing it across all these instruments. Keep it simple. There's sellers presence up there. You can see they're trying to build momentum around that point. There's that range, the same range that we looked at, so you can use the same shanties throughout. Okay, should we continue? Let me know. Should we continue? Do you understand what I've done so far? I mean, if you've watched this up until here, 8 minutes. Let's continue then. Okay, let's quickly do the last one. This is gonna be the Nasdaq 100. This is the Nasdaq 100. Starting from the weekly chart, I might spend maybe 2 minutes on this one. Okay, there's structure, obvious. You see, I'm doing the same stuff. There's structure around that point. There's another structure that I haven't pointed in a while. Okay, that is a support structure around there. You can see price could possibly come back down to that. Let's go to daily quickly. Let's not waste time. Let me highlight that support structure that I was telling you about here on the daily chart. Okay, notice where the green belt is. Notice where the last trend line was, this one. Okay, so if we have a drop, we're most likely to come all the way down to 14406 level, at least around that level. It's the same, almost the same level as what we've seen on USD. And another level will be this particular guy right there. It might come in handy tomorrow for quick trades. If you are a buyer, we could see buyers sort of starting to accumulate there. Let me show you that point. This is gonna be the H4 chart. Okay, we might see buyers trying to sort of pull up. This is that level, the level that I highlighted there. It's this one. Here we can see it even have a trend line, and also another trend line that we can draw is this particular one. Let me see if I can put another one on top there, so that we have that nice channel. So you can see they are meeting in that point. Okay, we could see buyers pushing back to the upside around that particular. This is the H4 chart. There's that trend line that I wanted to put so that we have that channel. We could see something like this. That's a possibility, and the resistance around that point. So do you understand what I'm doing? Pure price action, nothing hectic. So if we come here, this is gonna be the last time frame. This one is definitely not what I've highlighted. I said it's the H4. I said it's the H4. Yes, it is the H4. Okay, so you can see again support, the same trend line that gave us a channel on the last chart. It's the same one, this one. So it's the same shandies, nothing hectic. Right? Do you get that? I didn't do anything weird. Same shandies all over and over again. Make sure that you understand risk management. Make sure that you use stop losses always. If you are new and you have watched up until this point, maybe consider subscribing. Let's get to 500 likes. Let's get this video to 500 likes. I'd really appreciate that. Okay, so if you are new, welcome. If you are subscribing and all that shandies, otherwise, see, that's just my take on this indices. You've seen all the points that I've highlighted. That's why I'd actually like to sort of look for trades. Otherwise, sharp.